Hi, I'm Rosco and welcome to EV Marketplace, brought to you by AmazingEV, our very own EV marketplace. Of course, there's noise in the background to start off tonight, but what better place to be with you on a Christmas Eve? And we'll come to that later as to why we're here on a Christmas Eve than to start our very own dedicated used EV marketplace, a special channel, a special broadcast just for used EVs because let's face it, look, we love our used EV. We bought a used EV and it has given us so much pleasure that we built our own dedicated used EV marketplace, Amazing EV. So this is brought to you by Amazing EV, and we're going to be talking about everything to do with we're going to be talking about everything to do with EVs, but used EVs. So if you're looking to buy, you're looking to sell, you're looking for some advice on maintenance, inspections, batteries, this is the place to be. But this all started when we bought our very own used EV way back almost 2 years ago now, 3 years ago now, our Tesla Model Y. And what are we doing here on a Christmas Eve when we should be home celebrating? And of course, why is this episode 0? And well, episode 0 is we're just coming out of the pits. We're going to trying out a new bit of software, a new bit of gear, all the switches, trying some new format on the first night. So we thought, well, who could be watching? And look, there's 3 people watching, so I better say welcome because it's going to take me a while to get my head around the interactivity side of things. But we are here tonight, and I'll open the comments section, and we've got Stan from Kangaroo on who's joined us, and of course we have a very special guest who's coming up later on as well. I won't reveal who that is just at the moment, but we do have a very special guest on our first night. And thanks, Stan. Good to see you here. And hopefully this will be the start of something that we think is going to build into a whole community of people. We want to make this more than just a podcast, more than just a stream, more than just a live event. We want to make it a show. We want to make it a show about EVs and EV ownership. I know many of you have entered the EV space, and look, there's a lot of information out there everywhere you can find, but look, we want to make this more about the ownership experience. We want to make Wednesday's EV night. If we take 6:30 spot before Ludicrous Feed and Tom starts, and if you're not familiar with them, you can find Tom at Ludicrous Feed and Riz and Roland and all the gang covering off everything to do with new cars and new EVs. In between then, a couple of our favourites you could watch in between a Richard Simmons. We love all his action on the UK. It's real insight as to what's going on in the UK market and what's about to take place here in the market in Australia. Is it really take off? He's got a used car dealership, so check out Richard Simmons on YouTube. I love all his stuff. It gives us some great insights. He's just his own personal Tesla Model 3's just gone to 250,000 miles, 400,000 Ks. Unbelievable. And also, if you want to catch something before Tom gets on and fill the rest of the time on EV night, try Trevor and Stephen, 2 blokes talking EVs, and they've just clocked up their 101st episode. So long way to go for me, but mentors for sure, and inspirations of anything. We could make this Wednesday night EV night. Look, if you cover EV night once a week, that's 1/7 of the week. That's a target we could try and get to for new car sales and probably used EV sales down the track. Let's make it EV night on a Wednesday night. We'll have people who have got experience with all sorts of cars because that's the most exciting thing that I find about this market. The incredible range that's out there at the moment is extraordinary, and it excites me so much looking forward to 2026. These cars are coming to the second-hand market. The biggest problem you've got now is not whether to buy which brand new car to buy. It's whether you spend 45, 40 grand, 35 now with the latest JQ out on a new car, or whether you buy a fantastic used Tesla or Polestar or any other BYD on the market now. Take a brand that has proven itself already, or take a brand new brand. You've got more great problems to have. And we want to come along that journey with you and help you through those ups and downs. I can't wait. Although we've got our own EV marketplace up, which I'll show you a little bit later on, and this show is brought to you by Amazing EV, our own dedicated marketplace. I'll show you a few of the cars we've got for sale. We're sponsoring that at the moment. If anyone's out there who wants to sponsor this show, by all means get in touch. If anyone knows anybody who's got a great product, a great idea they'd like to promote here, We're happy to work with anybody. But we're not just going to cover the cars on Amazing EV. We're going to cover the cars in the entire used EV market. This market needs a boost. It needs a pump up. It needs to get it out there. We need to get the word out there. The first phase, the first adopters bought the new cars. Now there's a fantastic range of new cars. The second phase is when the cars get affordable, get reasonable, and they fall into the used car market. That's where we're at it now. So we're all about boosting this market as much as possible. We're going to have a look at deals from car sales. We're going to have a look at deals from Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace. Each of them have got their own individual ways of helping people out. And we're going to look at deals right across the market. We're going to promote the used market across every sphere. We're going to have a look at dealers who were probably a little bit burnt a year ago, who are going back into it now. We're going to have a look at auction houses for some fantastic deals. We're going to have a look at authorized deals from Tesla and other manufacturers now who've got cars out there. We're going to cover the whole marketplace. Everything we'll bring to the table, not just the cars. But if you want to sell through Amazing EV, have a look in the description down below. There's a discount code. We'll give you a Christmas present. We'll give you a free listing. It's normally $29.95. We'll give you a free listing in the description below. Use that on checkout, and we'll help you because that's just a start. Once you get a listing with us, we'll do everything we can to get better photos, create some videos, spread it across the social media, put it on this channel here as well. We'll get it out there. We'll get the word out there. We'll make sure that everybody knows that your car's for sale to get you a result faster. So that's the way we're approaching things with our own marketplace, but we want to see the whole marketplace grow. And look, it's episode 0, not just for us. It's episode 0, sort of ground zero for the whole marketplace. And I've got a snapshot on this one first. This is a Gemini presentation page, which has taken some data from, and we're not going to go too much into detail on Christmas Eve, of course, but we are going to present more information about sales and how the market's going and depreciation, how long it takes to sell, and some of the most popular cars out there. We're going to make sure we cover the data, and we get our data from AutoGrab. And I'm sorry, Riz, we'll use Car Loop data one day. We don't have a deal with AutoGrab, but they do provide the official data for the Australian the AADA, the Australian Automobile Dealers Association, the secondhand car peak body. And Stan's has come in with a comment about him doing a great job. Don't worry, Stan, we're going to get to your car very shortly. I said within 5, hopefully 10 minutes, I'm going to show you a used car. But this snapshot of the used car market just shows you how much there is and how much potential there is. Incredibly, the used car market is over 2 million, 2.1 cars per annum. AutoGrab track the data. They track it from the marketplaces out there, car sales, Facebook, everything. They track and see what cars are for sale and available, and then they track the sales. So you can see exactly what's going on in the marketplace with the data from AutoGrab. We summarize this thanks to Gemini, and you can see the market for used EV sales. It's going to be about 30,000 cars this year, 35,000 on track maybe. This is last month, and it shows up 192,000 used cars sold, up to 15 years old. And so you can see it's just a tiny slither. It's a pimple on the proverbial of the car market at the moment. So much potential, so much to look forward to with the new cars coming. But that's the starting point. That's where we're about to take off from. This one gives you a bit more of an idea, again, from AutoGrab data, what the popular cars are. The chart on the left, that was split between private sales and dealer sales. And that's been 50-50 up until not so long ago. The dealers weren't too keen on used cars, used EVs in particular. They got stung a year or so ago. We prefer private selling, but we do like some demos from some of the dealers, and we just like the nature of private sellers. We love the fastidious way the first EV owner has looked after their car better than their own baby. They have really looked after these cars. Any car that we've come across so far from a private seller, it's just pristine condition. So that's a bit of a turnabout more recently, but you can see some of the top cars there, and I'll put my glasses on. Model 3 for sure. Clearly that's the top seller. Again, Tesla Model 3, Model Y. This is last month's data again, and we'll give you a summary for the whole year when that data comes out in a month or so. But you can see here that Tesla Model 3, they probably represent 40% of the whole used EV market. And I guess the whole market is just top 300 to 320,000. There's probably 100,000 new cars have been sold, 120 odd thousand on the road. So for 30,000 sales, that's 10% of the EV market, but small chips at the moment. Clearly, the Tesla with over 100, just topping 150,000 cars delivered in Australia since day one. Someone took delivery of that probably a month or so ago. It was online. Brendan, he took delivery on behalf of one of his clients. So Tesla got just under half. So it's natural to expect, whether you love or hate Tesla, they represent just probably a little bit over half the used EV market. Then probably what you might expect, MG ZS, that's just about to be being replaced with another MG, still very popular on the used market. BYD Atto 3, really popular and going really quickly. Polestar 2, Stan, great car, fantastic car, holding up really well. No problems with any of these cars, by the way. And when I say no problems, all the cars have had bits and pieces and issues and maintenance, and there's always stories, and we look forward to hearing from you. So we're not standing up defending any car. They've all got their bits and pieces, but some fantastic examples, and we'll come to that just a little bit later with a very special Polestar 2. And as you can see, further down the list, MG4, the replacement for that's coming. That's very popular on the used market. And then once again, Nissan Leaf, that perennial Nissan Leaf, still around, and a fantastic car. There's some great deals around 10 grand. We're going to cover all the way from the 10 grand Nissan Leaf all the way up to the $180,000 take-in. And even there was a couple of Spectres on earlier this year as well. We're going to cover the whole range from the very cheap, from the very beginning, those still buying the Nissan Leafs, the original Ioniqs, the Hyundai Konas. The Miavs are still a few floating around. We're going to cover some of the conversions. We're going to cover the classics. Those cars are still in demand and going fantastically well. Then you get into the Teslas, and then you get into the Polestar, BYDs, MGs, and then we're going to just have a raft of cars coming very short. But we've locked into this used cars because we just see the growth and enormous potential. The ownership experience is something I really want to take a lot further and really chat with people about, passing on the information about road trips, about bits and pieces of maintenance, about conversions, about accessories, all the things that make the ownership experience a whole lot of absolute fun with a used EV. So we are talking about used EVs, and we're not going to talk about hybrids, all right? So yeah, let me know a bit later on, and I'll tell you why, but we're not going to go into it tonight. But this is just pure BEVs, not even plug-in hybrids, not even range-extended hybrids. We've decided just to focus on EVs. That's our specialty. That's where we want to sit. That's our belief. And, we're going to argue and chat about that in the comments for quite some time, I'm sure. So I look forward to more discussion on that. Nothing typifies the sort of experience that we've had with used EV buyers and sellers in the last 12 months, 18 months than the story with Stan. And thanks to your support, Stan, he's watching tonight. But for anyone of you following up and catching us a bit later on, Stan's Polestar you can see on screen now. We sold that just recently through AmazingEV. Now, when I say through AmazingEV, the buyer didn't come from AmazingEV, but we worked with Stan, who we met at Everything Electric probably 2 or 3 years ago now, and might be maybe 2.5 years ago now. He's owned the Polestar 2 since 2024, and we worked together to create this listing that really, it presents a bit more like a travel brochure than a car listing, because this guy with this car, the most incredible. If you don't think you can fall in love with a car and experience some sort of passion with an EV, have a think again, because Stan loved this Polestar. Now, Stan's online here tonight from Stan at Kangaroo on TV. Check out his channel. This car's been around Australia a couple of times now, and this looks like more, as I say, more of a travel brochure. Some of the experience, this is the route he's taken. He's taken this Polestar around Australia. This is not an easy thing to do, and it's come back, and it's perfect. And we advertised it on AmazingEV. We advertised it on Facebook Marketplace. got a bit of interest because Stan's decided after all this time he does want to explore another option, another car. So he's got something here. Look, I'll let him tell you about that next time. Hopefully we'll get him on in a couple of weeks' time when he takes delivery of the new one, and we'll share exactly what he has bought. But it was not an easy decision to sell the Polestar 2. This journey, this experience, this trip, I mean, this is what owning a car is all about for me. And it wasn't that easy to sell this. Fortunately, he came up with a solution where he sold it to a family member. He got good price guide, and yeah, it wasn't as much as he would have liked. And we'll get to that. But he didn't get anyway. But he got a good price guide from Facebook and an offer from AmazingEV, our marketplace. And fortunately, he got a family member who was very keen, and he sold it to them. And that gave them the price, the confidence to know that that was what it was worth. The car's not going too far away now. So this to us, and it's sort of almost staying in the family, but not too far. Maybe, anyway, he gets the new one, and he gets to keep an eye on this one as well. It's not gone forever. And look, again, this is all about what we see as AmazingEV, helping people to buy and sell EVs. Look, for you, it might not be much. It may not be anything. It may not be an experience like this, but this is the sort of thing we've enjoyed most out of our time in this industry and in this marketplace. These are the sorts of stories you can share with us, and we'll share with you. So this is something that has really warmed my heart in the last 12 months or so. And thank you, Stan. Thanks for being part of it, because it's been great to experience it with you. And yeah, luckily the car will stay in the family. And I guess that is it is important. It is important. We are having a closer look now just at AmazingEV, and I just want to let you know that we can list your car. We are not a car dealer. We list your car like any other sales marketplace. Sure, they different car sales marketplaces have different models. We're charging $29.95 for a 3-month listing at the moment. Includes some photos, spots for photos, fantastic description. We'll run through a few in a break shortly. I'm going to grab a drink shortly and have a short break. I'm going to leave you with some of the amazing cars on AmazingEV at the moment. But there's a free coupon down in the description below where you can get a listing for nothing at the moment if you use it on checkout. But contact me. We'll help you take some photos. We might have some buyers already. We know some people out there who are interested. There's no lowballers. There's no bullshitters. There's people that are loving EVs and want to buy an EV. Those are the sorts of people we're dealing with. It's not an easy thing. In fact, sometimes it's a really it's a painful thing to sell a car. We want to try and make it as easy as possible for you and help you through that process. So we understand there's a lot of people out there and a lot of lowballers and a lot of different places. And yeah, sometimes it's just hard work selling privately. Sometimes that offer from a dealer or a car buyer, and we'll talk about a lot of different avenues and ways you can sell tomorrow if you wanted to, and how that might be attractive, how trade-ins might be attractive. And yeah, very many different ways in which you can go about doing that. I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to have a short break for a moment, and then when we come back, we have got our very first guest, a very special person in my life and who's been an integral part of this journey for me as well. So when we get back, we'll introduce you to her. In the meantime, take a look at some of the... I'm back again. I tricked you. Welcome back. And we now have 8 people watching. So thank you, guys. Get involved in the comments below. I may not be able to answer them this time. I've got my hands full trying to get everything sorted here. But anyway, we're having a bit of fun now. That's fine. Entering the business end now. And our first guest, and hopefully a regular guest from now on, is someone that's been involved with my life for 7 or 8 years, in this business for 2 or 3 years. And she's been an integral part of building this business, because without her, it doesn't happen. Without her support for the hours I spend building the website, making the contacts, her coming along, the shows that we've done, the exhibitions, the people that we've met, I couldn't have done it without her. And of course, I'm talking about Mrs. Amazing. I'm talking about Josephine. I'm talking about my wife. And welcome, Josephine. Welcome to the Amazing EV. Well, the EV Marketplace, brought to you by AmazingEV.
Hello, Rosco. How are you?
And I'm good, and Merry Christmas. Well, under the circumstances, not as merry as it was going to be. But anyway, thanks for coming on, and good to see you. And let's get straight into it. What was the highlight of 2025 in EV world for you?
Sydney EV show at the ICC, of course.
Of course.
I think we both went to that. I know we both went to that because I went with you in the car. And that was an incredible event. It was a great opportunity for us to get out and about and be amongst it with the community, see all those amazing brands out there, all those incredible setups. But also, I think what was special about it was the opportunity to reconnect with the EV community. We both know and love this community. It is a very unique and special community. So being able to wander around the show, which was an amazing show, and reconnect with people that some people we knew, we got to reconnect with people we've worked with, people we've helped. And then we also got to meet some new people. And I can't not say how incredible it was to see you up on stage with some of those heavy hitters in the world, like the Electric Viking. You were up there during that fireside chat at the end with the Electric Viking. That was a real highlight for me. And
I'm glad that they're talking about used EVs at these shows now. For many years, the focus was new. Now it's a bit more about ownership. Now it's a bit more about the experience of used EVs, buying and selling. Should I buy a new one? Should I buy a used one? What's the best thing to look at now? And so the focus is starting to turn towards used EVs now. And for me as well, having the opportunity to talk in that forum with those colleagues, and also meeting some of the people that we've also helped and been part of their journey of the EV world, some of the advice that we've been able to give people, and some of the people that we're going to help sell their cars. So, yeah, and of course, the next one up, don't forget, is Everything Electric, I think, back in Sydney again, early March. So we are only talking 2 and a bit months away before we're back into the Everything Electric show back in Sydney again. We hope to be part of that in some way, shape or form. But if not, we'll be there for sure, because these shows just give everyone a great chance to turn around and go, there's someone like me. I'm not going, this is the way I'm thinking. And there's plenty of other people thinking exactly the same way. So.
And it's a chance for the community to connect and for us to get out there and talk about used EVs, and people can share their thoughts and really just get together and be together. Rosco, my other highlight stays in that same spirit of community, and we all know I love a chat.
Yes.
That is when we this year getting in the car, getting in our used EV, the Model Y, and driving out to meet people who have put their car up for sale on our Amazing EV Marketplace, where we've actually driven out to meet them. We've met them at various places, and you have diligently taken photos and video of their website, and I have chatted to them and got to hear this. For me, that's a huge highlight, because this industry, the people who own EVs are really special people. Like, we have gotten some brilliant stories, personal stories from people, and I've walked away every time thinking, wow, EV owners are incredible. And I think it's a really special community, so that's a real highlight for me. And then lastly, I can't not mention the fact that I think many of us will be celebrating the fact that there are 100,000 EVs on the road now in South Wales.
Okay. We are a little bit biased. We're based in Sydney, so we are slightly biased. So, but there's a challenge for the rest of the country.
Yeah, to join us and get on that bandwagon. Um, so that is a huge highlight for the year, and it's good to see EVs being embraced and going into the new year.
For overseas viewers, we are based in Sydney, Australia, and the marketplace and the market we are talking about is the Australian market, if you hadn't gathered that already. But anyway, please join us either way. We'd love to talk about your markets, and I'm going to start looking at some of the overseas markets, the UK market, some of the European markets, and the Chinese used car market, because it's fascinating to draw some comparisons. But I digress. And what are you looking forward to next year for EVs in the world of EVs, Josephine?
I think next year we are all looking forward to the incredible range of used EVs that will be coming onto the marketplace, because you know what that means for us, Rosco, don't you?
Yes.
That we'll be able to get out there and help more people, because people are going to have more choice. As EVs and used EVs in particular become more accessible, more become available, they become more accepted in the community as well. It means people are making choices about their lifestyle and what EV is the best for them. It means that you can use, I will say, your expertise. I'm certainly not as expert in as you are, but you know, we can go out and talk to people and share our experiences with them and help people with their choices, and also helping people who are ready to go the next step and perhaps sell their existing EVs and move on. So I'm really looking forward to that in the new year.
I know there's going to be a great year with over 110. We've lost a couple of models that have been replaced by others, but still I think they're close to 100, 110. And coming off leases from some of the FBT benefits that were kicked in 2022, I think they're coming off lease, and there's going to just be a raft of used cars. And we're going to go from just 2 or 3, 4 or 5 models to 20 or 30 different used cars that are going to be really popular all of a sudden. Thanks for your help, Josephine. I'll be home in an hour or so to celebrate Christmas like a normal. And
my other favourite EV is our Model Y as well. I do love that. Even though I'm secretly hoping that Santa does leave.
It would make a lovely couple if we had one, his and hers. You had the Fiat and I had the Tesla Model Y. It would be
very nice. Thank you for having me on, Rosco. And also, I would like to say Happy Christmas to people who are watching us, but to all of our community. All of the people that we have met this year have been incredible. You've all been wonderful people. And we have really been so lucky to get some incredible support, advice, for all your patience and for helping us along the way. And thank you, Rosco. This is an incredible, it's an insane journey. Strangely enough. Thank you. Happy Christmas, everyone.
I will never. It's been a rocky road. It's like everything in life. This year's been challenging in some respect, but we'll never complain. This has been a lot of fun. I would not rather be in any other space of any industry than looking and watching and being involved in some capacity. There's never a dull moment. Technology is coming fast, and there's so many new things happening, so much news, so many people, so much interest, and didn't change anything. So thanks for joining me. This is not how we talk normally. I'll see you in about an hour's time. And look forward to having you back next time.
See you. Happy Christmas, everyone.
So that's Mrs. Amazing. She is an integral part of this business, and she'll be back, tell a few more stories of some of the interactions, maybe some of the show highlights that we find next time, and just get a completely different perspective, different from mine, that's at least, and used car perspective, because I think some of the cars are coming onto the market are going to appeal to a lot more different, a lot broader range of people as well. And we can't wait for that. We're going to have time for questions. We're going to spend time on cars and cars and cars and cars and cars. We're going to have Q&A as well. And already a couple of the questions that we're not going to get deep into tonight, Christmas Eve. We're going to wind this up and let it go, let you all enjoy Christmas Eve, wherever you are around Australia. So many variables, so many things we don't get. We'll need your help to answer some of these questions as well. Questions like, is this hot weather affecting anybody's driving or charging? I know the cold has in the past. Anyone out there, put in the comments below, we'll talk about it next week. Is the hot weather, these heat waves, affecting anyone's charging or their car's performance? I haven't seen anything yet, but I haven't been looking that hard. So happy to chat about that with anyone's used EV on the road. I'm curious to know what's happening in that space. Of course, battery health is something that we're going to start talking a lot more about. And we're working with some people that are the most probably reputable in the world. And again, no affiliation there yet, but just bloody good blokes and a good product. And a lot of cars have inbuilt battery testing. State of health for us is going to become an important part. One of the auction houses, Pickles, has already ensured that they've got a battery health check percentage cross-section certificate on every car, on every listing. That to us has probably helped the dealers buy with more confidence, the key asset of the car. But we're going to be talking more about battery health. And the question is, I guess, will that start to affect the value? If two cars, exactly the same year, exactly the same case, same condition, will that, as it has overseas, start to affect the value of those two cars if one has a slightly higher level of battery degradation? Interesting questions. Those are the sorts of things we're going to be looking at as well. And then another interesting one that's just come up in the used market as well is whether a Tesla has FSD, if it's hardware 3 or hardware 4, whether it's FSD capable or not. And that's started to create a little bit of a division in demand. Haven't seen too much in pricing yet, but it has started to come through in terms of demand. Obviously, hardware 4, although no one's racing out necessarily to embrace it, and I haven't driven it yet, and I'm a fan. I'm all for autonomous cars in some way, shape, or form. But we are seeing a little bit of a division between the hardware 3 and the hardware 4 in terms of capability. Those are the sorts of questions that pitch them up. We'll start taking them on, spend a bit more time every week talking about those as well. Starting with our next show, we're going to come back on New Year's Eve. That'll be episode 1, New Year's Eve. It's going to be Wednesday every week. Consistency is the key, I've been told. It's not easy to be consistent, but we're going to keep doing this Wednesday, 6:30 every night, every week. We're going to make it EV night. And next week just happens to be New Year's Eve. We're going to come to you with our top 10 used EVs of the year. And we're going to make a few predictions as well. My predictions, Rostradamus predictions of what's going to happen in the next 12 months. Again, just focusing on this used market and where that's going and what's happening. We're going to bring you updates on cars, what's for sale, demos, used cars, EVs from dealers, car of the week. But we're also going to talk a lot about our own cars from Amazing EV. If you advertise with us, we'll help you promote it through this channel on this show every Wednesday night. I'll bid you good evening, a happy Christmas to everybody as best you possibly can under the circumstances after what Sydney's gone through the last week and a half. I'm Rosco. This is the EV Marketplace brought to you by Amazing EV, and we'll see you next week.